Hello guys, so today we'll just be sharing today quick deck one of our teammates deck, standard deck from the previous local tournament. So this deck is what we called as the mono red artifact aggro. So let me just put out some of the cards and check the relevant play and relevant creatures in the setup. So first up is just expect for mono red. There's lots of aggro and in terms of just attacking with creatures, but this build we've referred to as more of the Kamigawa living equipment, such as this one, overhead helm, and these are blades, rabbit battery, along with some artifact creatures that basically pump up this 2-drop. This is what we call as the patchwork automaton. So it's a 2 to cast 1/1 ward 2. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, put a +1 counter on it. And then we have sort of a simple combo with this. This is reinforced Ronin, 1 to cast 2/2 haste. The behavior end step becomes return to Orn's hand with a channel cost of 2, in which you can just discard it to draw a card. So along with it triggers that these artifact spells, casting spells, in which there are several ways, or basically various interactions that you can do. You can just basically cast out all of these artifacts. You can attack or each, and then later on you can reconfigure it. For example, you can reconfigure it to this or to the patchwork automaton, or can just add the lizard blades depending on how you would set up it. And later on it becomes more beneficial for the build because of this card. We have a Thundering Raiju that whenever it attacks, put a counter on target creature you control, and then deals X damage to each opponent or X the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. So this basically becomes a 4/4 haste, and at the same time you can pop up your other dudes, given that you get the curve from turn 1, turn 2, maybe some turn 3 on overhead, and later on a Raiju for the turn 4. So for the spell setups, it's all added a Reckless Stormseeker for the lineup because it gives additional haste effects and pumps in daybound, and also more beneficial on its nightbound phase. And our spells, our head is more again goes with the artifact setup. So for this one, Chemist Flare, 3 damage to creature planeswalker, and it deals 2 damage to permanent control if you control a modified creature. So we have 3 copies of these, 3 copies of Antagonize, that whenever it pumps, basically a red pump spell from Capenna. We also have a playset of Kumano Faces Kakasan, wherein deals 1 damage, and then whenever you cast your next creature spell on this turn, it gets +1 additional counter on it, and it becomes a 2/2 creature, which we call as the Etchings of Kumano. It's a 2/2 haste, so we can attack on its own, and whenever a creature deals damage is turned by source you control would die exiled instead. So also an additional effect and a creature source, and at the same time we also have ability Skull Smashing and Thundering Rebuke for big creatures, and also for planeswalkers. Play with Fire, 3 copies as additional 1 damage also, and also a utility when combined with your creatures. So for the land setup, basically just going to go with the basic of the mountains and some utility cards, with each we have a copy of Second Sun and 2 copies of Crawling Barrens, wherein we can basically become a modified creature on its own because of its ability of adding some counters and a good mana sink in the late game. So for the sideboard setup, I think we've checked this a bit and adjusted for the local meta game. So we have a braid which can destroy artifacts, chariots, and also 3 damage and effect, and also additional rebuke for maybe for mono white, since mono white can get very huge in toughness early. So as an additional support, we'll also burden down the house for aggro and maybe for multiple copies of the decks that establish with Omnixilis. We also have Claim Discharge as an added spot removal. Heated Debate, removal that can be countered for the dragon, and Burning Hands for green matchups, mono green. And some gas, late game gas source with card draws, and also non-attacker in its own, Reckoner Bombaster, with also Seshnya Uprising and Achusi, the Blazing Sky, as a 4-drop flying attacker and can produce card advantage when it flies. So basically that's overall check-up for this. We can call it as a mono red artifact aggro, or modified aggro red, depending on what you define it. And I do hope you'll check if you want to try this on MTG Arena. You can just basically comment out your observations, what this deck has performed. And it might not be a tier 1 deck, but it's also, if you go with the likes of mono red aggro and the standard metagame of the current one, then I would like to recommend this setup. So that's about it for this deck tech video. Until the next time, and thank you for watching.